Hey there, I'm Sharone Sapir, nutritionist with Shapa, and today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to maneuver through Halloween. Because let's face it, Halloween is usually the beginning of the holiday weight gain season. It starts with the leftover candy that you're just kind of picking at for a few weeks, and then Thanksgiving hits, and then the holidays, and then you get to January 1st and you're like, how did I get here? I get it. In this short video, I'll give you a few tips on how to make Halloween not the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? First tip, don't buy candy and chocolate that you love. I actually made that mistake this year. The kids kind of wrangled me into it. And this really is my favorite Halloween candy. Problem is that it becomes so tempting, right? So my next tip is keep it out of sight. When it's out of sight, it's also out of mind. Keep it anywhere that you don't typically look in. The backs of the cabinets, way up high, in the basement, in your garage. If it's not too hot, even in the trunk of your car. Just somewhere where you're not going to see it and be reminded, because let's face it, once you see it, you think about it, you know it's delicious, and it just makes your life harder. My next tip is don't be hungry on Halloween. Eat meals with plenty of fiber, plenty of protein. Don't think, well, I'll just save room for calories later, because you're just gonna get really hungry, which makes this type of candy and chocolate, well, any type of candy and chocolate, really hard to resist and to not overdo it on. So make sure you eat balanced meals and snacks throughout the day. Now, Halloween itself isn't the real problem, right? If you have one day, evening, even 2 days of overeating, that's not really gonna cause a true fat gain. The problem is eating a few extra 100 calories of candy every day for a long period of time. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know. The leftovers is where we really need to hone in on. If you don't have kids, maybe you should just give it away. There's plenty of charities. You can send it to the troops. You don't have to keep it at home. If you have kids, it gets a little trickier. Here's my advice. When they're really little, I'm talking about toddler age, then let them have whatever they want on Halloween and then toss it. For real, at this age, it's out of sight, out of mind. If it's not there, they're not gonna think about it. When they're a little older, that's when you can offer to exchange the candy for a gift. This actually worked. If they give you all their candy or keep a few pieces, then you will give them a gift. I think it's a marvelous exchange. When they're a bit older, like my kids are, I have an 8 and 11-year-old, I can't take the candy away from them. I mean, I could, but I still remember when my mom did that, and I'm still trying to let go. So I'm gonna be stuck with the candy. Whether it's candy that we're giving out or candy that they bring home, I'm still undecided on whether they will be trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating during a pandemic is, well, tricky, but there's gonna be extra candy in the house. So we go back to the first tip, or maybe the second, which is keep it out of sight. I will be keeping it everywhere that is hard for me to reach. I'll also be deciding with them on what's a limit per day. 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, that's individual, but including them in on the process, making that decision, and then holding them to that plan is good for them, it's good for you. There's no fighting, right? Because you settled on an amount that they could have every day. I'm human. I'm not going to go a whole month without having some candy. It's important to understand the caloric value though, because this adorable little Milky Way is 35 calories. Now, 35 calories doesn't seem like a lot, but This doesn't seem like a lot either. I could easily pop 10 of these in my mouth while working on my computer. Except that's 350 calories, which if I'm aware of, I can swap something else out that I normally have during the day and I could balance out my calorie intake. But if I'm not being mindful, I'm gonna be taking in a few extra 100 calories every day for a few weeks, and that will definitely translate into real fat gain. It's okay to have some Halloween candy, but be mindful that it does contain calories. It doesn't feel like it does because it's not very filling. So having that awareness, swapping out somewhere else can help you balance your intake so that you don't gain weight by Thanksgiving. I hope these tips were helpful. Halloween should be enjoyed, whether you're giving out candy, trick-or-treating, or just hanging out with extra candy at home. This year is a weird one for sure. I hope you enjoy the day, whatever you decide to do, and I'll see you next time.